Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Let's Talk Yoga podcast. As always, I hope you are doing well. I personally have had a rather crummy week with a migraine, some sore throat, a cold, but I'm getting on the other side of it as I record this for you. My voice may sound a little more nasal than usual, but I really did not want to skip recording this for you. I've just started work on a new course, or at least what I hope will be a new course. I'm still in the very initial stages of development. And this is something that doesn't exist in the yoga world today, in any part of the world. And it's been something that you, the listener, have been asking for a very, very long time. And I cannot share the details yet, as I don't know if it will shape up to be anything valuable or will it end up just as an Instagram post or two or a podcast? I really hope that it will be much more than that. But as I was sitting and scribbling down some notes, I was thinking about the topic that I'm going to talk about on the show today. As yoga teachers, I know that we crave to offer deeper, more valuable yoga in our asana classes, don't we? Right? It's something yoga teachers tell me so often that I want to teach more meaningful yoga. I want to teach philosophy. I want to teach my students that there is way more than asana and stretching the body. So I personally think that yoga poses are life lessons in different shapes in so many ways. So today, I want us to sit down and really understand the 5 things, or at least I've made a list of 5 things that a yoga pose teaches us about life. I hope you find this interesting. But before that, we've changed the intro for the show. I'm going to record it with this voice and I hope it sounds good. Let me know if you like it. And have you left us a review or a rating yet? It's really the only needle mover for us, if I'm being honest. We are 150 episodes in, and this is a free resource for you. It does cost us time, effort, and money to actually put this out there for you week after week. I've often called this a free yoga teacher training. In fact, I believe it is more potent than most 300-hour trainings. So please pause the show now and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's what the most special part for me is opening that and reading your reviews, or a rating on Spotify, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Aham Yoga. And if you are a super fan, do all of the above and even leave us a comment on the YouTube podcast playlist. It means so much to see how these conversations are impacting your yoga journey. Often it feels like a monologue up here. So I really hope that you'll take a moment to do that. All right, let's get cozy with a cup of chai and let's get nerdy about yoga poses and life. Hi everyone, I'm Arundhati and you've just tuned in to the Let's Talk Yoga podcast, your ultimate online destination for learning about yoga. Whether you're a seasoned yoga teacher or a curious yoga student, there's something for you here. Let this podcast be your virtual yoga school. We offer insights, inspiration, and loads of nerdy exploration of yoga along the way. But first, who am I? I'm an Indian immigrant yoga teacher living in America for the past decade. I have my own yoga school here in Seattle, and I'm also a Bollywood choreographer, and I've nurtured a thriving yoga community at my studio, as well as a global yoga audience through my courses and this podcast. Through this podcast, I intend to create a space for you, the yoga student and yoga teacher, to learn about yoga in depth. Think of this as your online yoga school, free teacher training coming to you every week. So grab your cup of chai and let's jump in. As teachers, we teach a lot of yoga through asana classes, don't we? I personally teach asana classes 6 days a week. I've done so for 11 years at my studio and more. The one thing I know I have struggled with many times over is making the non-asana, the non-physical practice side of yoga accessible, relatable to students in my classes in a short span of time. They also come in with the expectations that they're going to move and stretch their body. So learning how to push a little more of the deeper yoga aspects is something I have struggled with, and many days continue to struggle with, depending on the context. So, how do we as yoga teachers link this incredible ancient wisdom of yoga to asana? Right? I know we all want to. In fact, I would argue that it is our responsibility to do so as yoga teachers, to teach the philosophy and the yogic wisdom in small, relatable, authentic, and bite sized chunks. So, today I am sharing 5 things a yoga pose teaches us about navigating life. My hope is that this inspires you to make your own list or share this list or episode with your students, your community, or teachers, as sometimes we don't get the luxury of time to sit down and share it with our classes, or we don't know how to put it in words just yet. For this list, I am going from 5 to 1. On the surface of it, the most obvious reason is that yoga poses make you fitter, stronger, healthier, more wholesome. They enhance your connection with yourself and make you more present and mindful. You feel so good in your own body and your own presence that you thrive. It's a completely different kind of wholesome. You thrive mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, and even spiritually. So even if someone doesn't want to go deeper than asana, right? They're happy just doing asana. I believe you'll get plenty. Okay? You'll be enriched so much even through asana. It is what I call the upgrade you didn't know you needed. And it just enhances you in every possible way. So you show up better for yourself. So never feel guilty that you teach just asana as a teacher. Make sure you teach wholesome asana and you try to bring in small bits of conversation like this and enriching your students. My 4th reason is you put yourself in different shapes and orientations in yoga poses regularly. Now, this can be challenging, hard, uncomfortable, and perhaps even unstimulating or boring to some. But when you do these habitually and you put yourself in these, and I'm doing air quotes here, challenging poses, you're learning to stay in the pause. You're learning to breathe through it. You learn how to support yourself, for example, externally through props and the teacher's guidance, but also internally through your own systems of breath, your attention, your inner resilience, your willpower, your patience, your curiosity. You're in a deep, silent conversation with yourself. Make sure you hear that, right? Every yoga pose is a deep, thoughtful conversation with yourself. And when you hit a uncomfortable moment or a hard moment in practice, you're silently learning to navigate and you are learning deep life skills, at least according to me. So when you hit a difficult moment off your mat in the real world, you are less reactive. You learn to respond versus just react to a moment or a situation. There is power in the pauses in yoga poses. There is power in the breath we take as we work through the discomfort. It is like in every pose, we strengthen our connection with ourselves. We do this with our body, we do it through the guidance of the teachers, we do it with our breath, we do it with ourselves paying attention, drawing our senses inward. So your ability to respond is enhanced. And when you respond, you are at more peace with yourself. At number 3, something that I haven't spoken about often is in yoga poses, you embrace the unknown, right? And this is a very brave thing to do. Think about it. A student who knows nothing about yoga walks into class, they already have some preconceived notions perhaps of what yoga is supposed to be like. They have some unrealistic expectations from themselves maybe, and nobody really knows what to expect. Most people are already worried that they are too stiff or tight or not flexible enough to do yoga. Some of them don't know the history of yoga. It depends on the skill and caliber of the teachers they are with when they're starting their journey. So I believe the brave ones still walk in, right? Many never even think of coming to a yoga class because it is so intimidating to them in thought. But depending on how you teach asana, for many teachers and students, the sequence changes, right? And you never really know what to expect. Yes, sometimes you have some idea of what will be offered if you practice with a teacher habitually. But in many studios, there is a rotating set of teachers. You don't know who's coming to class on certain days, and you don't know what to expect. So you're in many subtle ways learning to embrace the unknown. And that helps you with life outside too. It helps us with the anxiety and the need to be in control for some of us, to just walking onto your mat and just going with what is being offered. And I believe that it really helps us embrace the uncertainties and the unknowns of life a lot more holistically. That brings me to my next one. And this is a very important one. You learn to surrender. You learn to let go. You learn that not everything is about you all the time. You learn that being at peace is in your own control in so many ways. And when we learn to release, and I'm doing that with air quotes, you feel physically lighter. You carry less of a burden. You are just more free. You literally feel lighter in your own body. And for some of you who have done this deep work of releasing and letting go, right? Letting go of that which does not serve you. This could be people who are not good for you, relationships that are not good, healthy for you, maybe your own toxic patterns. And we carry so much mentally, right? And this practice of aparigraha, where we just hoard and learning to let go of resentment, hurt, grudges, heartbreak, grief, stress from life, your to-do list, just, and sometimes stories we construct about what other people are thinking of us, and so much more, right? So slowly through these poses, we learn to unburden ourselves in small capacities. You don't even realize it's happening. For me, these poses are little algorithms that are so powerful, that are enhancing our sense of self so much in such a wholesome way. And they are strengthening us from the inside out. And to me, that is such a wonderful thing. So the ability to release, to let go, to surrender to yourself, to me, that's a beautiful aspect of yoga poses. And lastly, we learn to treat ourselves with true self-compassion, kindness, respect, and even perhaps a reverence for our existence. So many people on this planet have not been loved in the way that they would have liked to be cared for, in a way that they deserve to be cared for. So as adults, we carry these wounds with us. And often we don't even know that we are carrying this hurt with us. And many a times we unleash this hurt on those closest to us without even realizing it. So when we truly learn to love ourselves and to treat ourselves with kindness and respect and this inner reverence for this life that we have been given, we show up differently for ourselves as well as others. Someday I will share deep personal stories about this. But know that you deserve to feel like this all day, every day. So those are my 5 reasons as to why a yoga pose is a life lesson in different shapes. I can honestly go on and make this list of 5 a list of 50. But I want to just spark this thought for you, and I hope it was inspirational. Maybe you can now sit down and examine your own connection with yoga poses and make a list of what they have taught you about life. I honestly believe that yoga poses are there are Wi-Fi connection to our inner self, and sometimes the connection is weak, and it's in our ability to strengthen this connection. And if you feel like there was value in this and you're unable to summarize this for your students just yet or your classes, feel free to just share this episode. So when you spark this thought, these conversations with your students, you have opened the door to start discussing deeper yoga in so many ways, right? We're all at different points in our journey. So I hope this was helpful. And when people recognize the inner value of the practice, they will make it a life practice. So you don't really need to convince anybody. They have to experience it, right? And know that yoga is not something that they do just say a couple of hours a week. I would love to hear what your yoga poses have taught you. Please head over to Instagram and leave your comments on the reel that announces this episode. To me, my most special part is when I get to hear from you. And I read all the messages you send me. I respond to most of them, try to respond to all of them, but I have cut down some screen time, so I'm a little slow. But I would love to dialogue with you instead of just do this monologue here with my cup of chai by myself. Buzzsprout, where I host my podcast, has released a new text your podcast post feature. I haven't explored this yet as you're listening to this, but if this is something that you would be interested in, let me know. Okay. To wrap things up, my teacher's newsletter is going out the end of this week where you're listening to this episode. So please make sure you sign up. The link is in my bio. That's it from me. One more reminder to rate and review this podcast. I have a brand new guest next week, and we're talking about a lazy yoga teacher's guide to living yogic wisdom. I'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.